Now on River Region Evening Edition, SIU president says the university is preparing for a worst-case scenario with the budget. A Southern Illinois community argues over whether the Confederate flag should be allowed at school. And the Pope arrives at the White House.
News from around the world, across the nation, and here in the River Region. This is the award-winning Student Newscast, coming to you live from Southern Illinois University. River Region Evening Edition begins now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Joe Fry.
And I'm Joey Dalo. SIU President Randy Dunn says there will be no new major programs this year because of the university's financial challenges. Instead, Dunn told an audience at SIU Edwardsville that the university is focusing on survival and how it should go about reshaping itself. Dunn said there won't be new initiatives for the system this year because that's not where we're at right now. Dunn said SIU officials are preparing for worst-case scenarios just in case the current state budget impasse in Springfield is not resolved. Dunn says the school will consider specific and targeted cost savings, such as consolidating services and pointing to one program at Carbondale that has 8 students. Dunn will deliver his State of the University System speech tomorrow at in Carbondale, on Friday at the School of Medicine in Springfield.
A total lunar eclipse with a so-called blood moon will be visible in Southern Illinois Sunday night. The SIU Astronomy Club will hold a viewing event at Saluki Stadium. The moon will be completely eclipsed beginning just before 10:30. It will last for a little over an hour. People who want to watch Sunday's eclipse from Saluki Stadium are encouraged to bring lawn chairs.
Inventors at SIU now have a new way to promote their ideas. Southern Illinois University is now a member of the National Academy of Investors. The group helps academic innovation in dealing with the Federal Patent and Trademark Office. University officials hope this will lead to more innovation at SIU and enhance the university's reputation as a research institution.
A new healthcare facility in Southern Illinois has been changing lives for the better. Reporter Gabe Pishkadamian has more with the story.
What began as an idea for a new cancer treatment center in Southern Illinois turned out to be a dream come true for those that need a place to go to for medical cancer treatment.
We think this is home for the cancer patients, so they really don't have to leave the area. I think that's the main issue, the main message that we need to get out there. I mean, there's, all the doctors here that can take care of all the needs here. I mean, that's what we're trying to do.
The location was very important for this cancer institute, especially with patients receiving infusion treatment. During their treatment, they get to sit back and relax while enjoying the view of the natural environment. Another benefit of the Cancer Institute is its state-of-the-art pharmacy located right next to the infusion area.
Our mission and objective is the patient first, and patient satisfaction is really why we're here.
And keeping patients close to home can be very beneficial in their treatment.
The beauty of what we do is that we can keep our patients here in Southern Illinois. We can treat the patients. Some of our patients drive themselves here and they go home. And when you're affected, and so many of us are either affected or we know people who've dealt with cancer, and we get to connect to the community, we get to connect to the people, but to know and believe that we are actually giving that same excellent care here, it's amazing.
And it's because of the staff that makes this treatment amazing. For River Region Evening Edition, I'm Gabe Pishkadamian.
If you or a loved one is in need of cancer treatment, please stop by the SIH Cancer Institute, located off of Illinois Route 13 in Carterville.
Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner has made appointments to the Illinois Gaming Board, Workforce Investment Board, as well as the Executive Ethics Commission. The newest members of the Executive Ethics Commission are Teresa Bartels and Ryan Ruskin. Leah Gold will be serving as the newest member of the Illinois Gaming Board, and Grover C. Webb was appointed to the Illinois Workforce Investment Board.
Americans welcome Pope Francis at the nation's capital in a series of appearances today. At the White House, President Obama told the pontiff that you remind us that the Lord's most powerful message is mercy from the refugee who flees war-torn lands to the immigrant who leaves home in search of a better life. For his part, the Pope did not shy away from politics. He renewed his call for action on climate change, saying that when it comes to the care of our common home, we are living at a critical moment of history. He also praised recent developments in normalizing relations with Cuba. Tomorrow, the Pope will address a joint session of Congress before wrapping up his stay in the U.S. with stops in New York and Philadelphia.
Well, Joe, even though it felt like it was the first day of fall day, it still felt like summer.
Colin Dorsey is here with our first look at weather.
Taking a quick look at weather outside. For tonight, overnight low of 55 degrees. Expect some pretty clear skies by morning. 66 by 9 a.m. and clear skies then by midday, warming up to about 78. I'll have that complete weather forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Colin. After the break, we take a look at the debate taking place in Harrisburg over the Confederate flag.
And the Cancer Center in Carterville is now 6 months old. We'll take an inside look.
Display of the Confederate battle flag continues at Harrisburg High School this week. River Region Evening Edition reporter Anthony Wilder has that story.
Trenton Bird, a student at Harrisburg High School, was recently sent home for what he believed was freedom of speech. Bird was wearing a Confederate t-shirt, and the faculty gave him 3 options of turning it inside out, changing it, or to just leave as an excused absence. Bird decided to take the excused absence. Superintendent Michael Gouch says that his principals did their due diligence because it was something they thought needed to be addressed. The topic came up again at last night's school board meeting attended by students and parents. Gouch believes the issue does not center on race.
It's not an issue of race for us. It's not an issue of race for the district. It's plainly an issue of what we deal with every day. When there's a disruption in that building, we have to do something about it to make sure it stops. And that's all this issue was.
SIU Professor of Africana Studies Joseph Brown has been monitoring the Harrisburg flag controversy. He says it's more than a free speech issue.
And when I tell you that I am threatened by that because of the history of that symbol, and you tell me, well, that's not what I mean by it, the problem is that's what it used to say, that's what it has said in my lifetime, and when people have tried to harm me and people who look like me have used that symbol, then I say it speaks for itself.
For River Region Evening Edition, I'm Anthony Wilder.
For now, Superintendent Gouch says that the school district will continue to discipline students for wearing anything officials consider obscene or disruptive.
State museum staff are keeping their jobs until next week. Governor Bruce Rauner agreed to delay the layoffs of more than 100 staff members of the Illinois State Museum, conservation officers, and other state workers. The layoffs were slated to begin on September 30th, but labor unions sued the state for breaching labor contracts. Police Benevolent and Protective Association Director Sean Smoot says the layoffs of conservation officers are delayed indefinitely.
After a 5,000% increase overnight of the commonly used drug Daraprim, CEO Martin Shkreli isn't backing down. Daraprim is used by some AIDS and cancer patients, but its main use is to treat life-threatening parasitic infections. Shkreli's pharmaceutical company Retrofin bought the rights to the drug back in August and raised the price from $13.50 a pill to $750 a pill. The move quickly became the focus of the public's anger. The 32-year-old Shkreli announced last night that he would be lowering the price with both the customer and company in mind. While the price of Daraprim is not back down to $13.50, the price is yet to be determined by the company.
Fires in Northern California have destroyed at least 1,200 homes and killed 3 people. President Barack Obama declared on Tuesday a major disaster in that area. The declaration allows for the use of federal money for recovery purposes. This means that residents can now apply for grants to use for home repairs and temporary housing. Authorities are looking for 2 missing people from Lake County in California.
The head of Volkswagen has resigned over the company's air pollution scandal. U.S. regulators revealed last week that the company has been cheating on auto emission tests.
Everything on the table as quickly, rigorously, and transparently as possible. And we continue to cooperate closely with the relevant government organizations and authorities.
Company executives now admit they use software to make Volkswagen's vehicles appear to pollute less than they do. This affects about 11 million VW and Audi vehicles.
Several Chicago schools were evacuated and closed today after the bacteria causing Legionnaire's disease was discovered. The CEO of Suburban Chicago School District says the bacteria levels were located in the school's cooling system. None of the approximately 3,000 students evacuated from Eastview Middle School and Larkin and Gifford High School in Elgin have reported becoming ill. Sanders said a decision will be made later Wednesday on whether the schools will remain closed. The Legionnaire's disease outbreak has killed 13 people in Illinois.
3 journalists are being released from jail by Egypt's president. The journalists were arrested on charges of false news and biased coverage. The journalists from Al Jazeera were released from an Egyptian prison today.
European Union President Donald Tusk is calling an emergency EU meeting to forge a strategy for dealing with the migration crisis. This after the EU ministers reached an agreement on a resettlement plan on Tuesday. Tusk says it's critical that the European countries end their squabbling over migrants and agree on a concrete plan in place of the arguments and chaos. The meeting will take place tonight.
Well, the first weekend of fall is approaching. Weathercaster Colin Dorsey tells us what to expect.
The Dow took a dip for the second day. Watch stories on top business stories on the Nightly Business Report at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Colin Dorsey with your River Region weather forecast this evening. It's the first day of fall, and we can look at this viewer photo taken down in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. It's pretty nice out there right now. Beautiful blue skies across the region, but back here in Jackson County, 83 degrees is your temperature. Dew point quite a bit lower tonight at 53. Relative humidity around 36. Winds are pretty negligible right now. That barometric pressure hovering right around the median region of 30.14. Your almanac looking right now, your average high for today 74. We were pretty close to that today. Record high coming in at 94 degrees back in 1939. Average low will get pretty close to that tonight with a record low coming in 1983 at 30 degrees. Looking at your temperatures across the river region, Belleville coming in at 86 today, Carbondale 83, 84 in Mount Vernon, likewise in Marion. Both Cape Girardeau and Paducah quite a bit warmer than the rest of the area at 87. Here's a look at your cloud coverage across the area. Most of the United States seeing these very beautiful blue skies. We do have some of that in the northern plain regions, that cloud cover, and also in the southeast. That will continue to move across the area. Looking at your temperatures across the nation, seeing a little bit warmer temperatures than we saw last week. Our northern areas are starting to see that wintry weather that they're used to this time of year. However, looking at your surface map across the region, pretty nice, calm weather is what we're seeing here in the Midwest, our area. But we do have some stuff going on out here, flash flood possibilities going on out in the northwest. That will continue to move this way. Looking at your temperatures for tonight, overnight low of 55 degrees, clear skies, little to no wind, sun setting. And then tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 84 degrees, winds out of the east northeast of 10 miles per hour. And then by tomorrow night, clear skies, low of 56 degrees, little to no wind, sun setting at 6:51. Taking a check of that 5-day weather forecast by Friday. a high of 82 degrees, overnight low of 58. Saturday, those clouds do move into the area, partly cloudy skies, high of 77. Sunday, high of 81, and then 83 on Monday with beautiful sunny skies.
Thank you, Colin. So, Colin, how do you think you're going to plan on raking your leaves this fall?
You know, just got to do it as it comes. I think we're still a little bit away from those trees starting to shed their leaves, though.
Thank you, Colin.
Thank you, Colin. The Cubs and Cardinals were both in action last night. Where they come out on top?
And the baseball world mourns the loss of one of the all-time greats. Zach Thomas has more in sports.
Thanks, guys. The SIU football team has its home opener on Saturday, but the game has a more important cause. And the Chicago Bears starting quarterback will not play this Sunday, but that isn't the only challenge presented to the team. All that and more coming up on River Region Sports. Lawrence Peter Berra, known as Yogi Berra to many baseball fans, died of natural causes last night. He was 90 years old. The native of St. Louis led the New York Yankees to 14 World Series in his 18-year career, winning 10 total rings. Berra is best known as the only player to catch a perfect game in the postseason. He was also known for his famous yogi-isms, one being 90% of baseball is mental, the other half is physical. The three-time MVP holds World Series records for most hits and games played. Berra passed away 69 years to the day after making his MLB debut on September 22, 1946. Any coach will tell you it ain't over till it's over, but SIU fans have reason to argue that it's over before the opening kickoff. That's the issue SIU faces welcoming the number 10 Liberty Flames to Saluki Stadium Saturday night. Liberty comes off a stunning win over the number 7 Montana Grizzlies 31-21 last Saturday night. SIU is off to an 0-2 start for the first time since 2013. They hope to avoid starting 0-3 for the first time since 2001. Coach Dale Lennon says having Liberty on the schedule presents new obstacles.
They'll be coming in highly ranked as they've earned that, and you know, the challenges are definitely there, but I think it's a challenge that we're looking for, just playing a quality team like that and seeing where we stack up.
The Saluki football team plays the 10th-ranked Liberty Flames Saturday night on Family Weekend. It's also the 4th annual Blackout Cancer Game. Kickoff is at 6. The SIU women's volleyball team opens MVC conference play in Iowa this weekend. The 9-4 Salukis take on Northern Iowa and Drake this Friday and Saturday, respectively. The Salukis are off to their best start since SIU head coach Justin Ingram's debut season, starting 9-1 in 2011. SIU split last year's road trip to Iowa, falling 3-0 to UNI and beating Drake 3-1. The games can be seen on ESPN3 along with all Saluki home volleyball matches and conference road matches. First serve for both games is at 7. The Saluki men's golf team tees off at the Golf Week Conference Challenge in Burlington, Iowa this weekend. 15 teams from 15 conferences across the country will compete at the event, including host team Iowa, Kansas State, and reigning national champion LSU. The SIU men placed 8th out of 18 teams at the D.A. Waybrink Intercollegiate over a week ago. Competition lasts the entire weekend, and tee time is set for 9 a.m. Friday and Saturday, with a shotgun start Sunday at 8:30 a.m. Jay Cutler of the Chicago Bears has been ruled out for this Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks, according to the Chicago Tribune. Cutler received a hamstring injury against the Cardinals this past weekend and did not practice today. Meanwhile, the Seattle Seahawks defense will get Cam Chancellor back after settling his contract agreement with the team. Both teams will meet in Seattle Saturday at 3:25. And the first-place St. Louis Cardinals look to win their 4th straight game tonight as they go head-to-head against the Cincinnati Reds. The Cardinals edged past the Reds last night thanks to a strong outing by starting pitcher John Lackey and clutch hitting by rookie Tommy Pham. Lackey tossed 7 innings, collecting 7 strikeouts and allowing only 1 earned run. Pham hit a sacrifice fly late in the 7th inning to help the Cardinals take the lead and hold on to a 3-1 victory. First pitch for tonight's game is set for 7:15 p.m. The Cubs have won 7 of their last 8 after cruising past the Milwaukee Brewers 4-0. Chicago ace Jake Arrieta tossed a 4-hit shutout and became the first pitcher in the MLB to win 20 games. He's also the first Cubs pitcher to win 20 games since John Lieber did it in 2001. Chris Bryant also set a Cubs rookie record by hitting his 26th home run this season, besting Billy Williams' mark set in 1961. The Cubs return to action tonight when they host the Brewers at 7:05.
So you like the Cardinals and Cubs' chances to keep their winning streaks alive?
Oh, I definitely do. I actually like the Cubs' chance a little bit more. They've been on quite a roll right now thanks to the help of Arrieta and Chris Bryant.
Things are going to be fun in October. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you, Zach. We're back with a preview of your weekend weather forecast. Here are some of the stories that are making news in the days ahead. SIU President Randy Dunn gives his State of the System speech to the Carbondale campus tomorrow. We'll have an update on the Pope's visit to America. And SIU Volleyball opens conference play this Friday in Northern Iowa. Join us Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock for River Region Evening Edition.
The next time you celebrate a birthday at a restaurant, the staff will be able to sing happy birthday to you instead of an alternative version. After 120 years, the song is no longer copyrighted. A federal judge says the birthday song is now in the public domain. The judge says the company that has been charging money for commercial uses of the song did not actually own it.
So, Colin, a quick look at the weather?
Sure. Looking at your 5-day weather forecast. In tomorrow, let's expect a high of 84 degrees, overnight low of 56, 82 on Friday, and really we can expect some pretty nice weather for the coming days.
Thank you, Colin.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at River Region News. I'm Joey Dalo.
And I'm Joe Fry. For Colin Dorsey, Zach Thomas, and more than 100 students who work on Evening Edition, good night.